Okay, I'm going to play for you a video of Joe Biden on CNN discussing his budget for the year 2023. I think this is absolutely disgusting. Please take a look at this, and then I want to talk about it.
The second value my budget reflects is security. Security at home and security abroad. My budget tackles security in two key ways. First, it secures our communities at home. This is an issue families in every part of the country face. I've said it before. The answer is not to defund our police departments. It's to fund our police and give them all the tools they need, training and foundation and partners and protectors that our communities need. The budget puts more police on the street for community policing, so they get to know the community they're policing, allows the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and the FBI to hire the agents they need to help fight gun crime and other violent crimes in our communities, and funds body cameras and make sure police work with our local communities and are accountable to these communities. It funds crime prevention and community violence intervention, drug treatment, mental health, criminal justice reform, and reentry for people coming home after incarceration. All demonstrable ways to reduce crime and proven ways. Security also means national and international security. This budget provides the resources we need to keep Americans safe, ensuring that our military remains the best prepared, best trained, best equipped military in the world. This budget also provides additional funding to forcefully respond to Putin's aggression against Ukraine and its economic, humanitarian, and security consequences. The world has changed. In addition to dealing with terrorist organizations, for the second quarter of the 21st century, we're once again facing increased competition from other nation states, China and Russia, which are going to require investments to make things like space and cyber and other advanced capabilities, including hypersonics. And this will be among the largest investments in our national security in history. Some people don't like the increase, but we're in a different world today. America is more prosperous, more successful, and more just when it is more secure.
All right, so just so we're clear, just so we're clear, Joe Biden is proposing a $813 billion Pentagon budget. That's a $31 billion increase from the previous year. Need I remind you, in case you either forgot or aren't aware, for the previous year budget for the military spending, Joe Biden requested a number. The Senate and House committees requested a larger number. They won. They got it. They got even more than he already requested for the already bloated military budget. Need I remind you, our military budget is larger than the next 10 or 11 countries with the highest military budgets combined. And like 8 of them are our allies. It's amazing to see this kind of development. And they call it defense spending. In what world is this defense? It makes no sense. But anyway, I just need to get it off my chest first and foremost because I thought that was extremely important to say. But let's just go in chronological order of what he said, because this is amazing here. And nobody's going to call him out on this BS, so I feel like I have to. And by the way, I'm sorry, but by the way, Republicans don't think that this is enough, this budget that he proposed. And also, I know there's a lot of alsos and by the ways, but this $800 billion number, you need to understand, this is just for the year. So over years, this is trillions of dollars. I mean, it's insane. But when you need something that costs nowhere near as much, oh, we can't pay for it. Anyway, so he starts talking about police. And of course, he takes a pot shot at defund the police because it's this new thing that Democrats do because they don't want to seem like they support it, because it is, in fact, an unpopular position. But the Republicans do a great job in framing the Democrats in a way they want the people to see them as. And so the Democrats are always on the defensive instead of the offensive, saying, no, we don't want to defund the police, or no, we don't want to do this, or no, we don't want to do that. And the funny thing is, a lot of times they're saying stupid shit like, no, we don't want to give you health care. No, we don't want to raise your wages. And it turns people off because that's the stuff that they actually want. Anyway, but he starts off talking about the police. And he says that they're gonna, and I love this right here, they're gonna put more police out on the street so that the communities can get to know them and they can be held more accountable. So let's get this straight. So the equation is more police plus bigger budgets equals more accountability plus police getting to know the communities they protect and serve. That is in no way a correlation. And I like how he says that more police, it's a proven way to reduce crime. Look, I'll just ask you, point me to a single study that shows that more police equals a decrease in crime. Everything else shows the opposite. There's no statistics. There's no credible study out there that I have seen that supports that argument. I mean, that's just a lie. You can call that a lie because that's what it is. It's not true. It's simply not true. We have some of our police budgets around this country are bigger than entire countries' military budgets. That's a fact. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. Why is it that we have the biggest police budgets? We have the most police out on the streets, right? But for some reason, this is the land of the incarcerated, America is. China and India, just to pick two places, have populations that far eclipse ours, the US. They have nowhere near as many people in jail, in prison, than we do. I mean, we're quite literally the land of the incarcerated. We have so many people in jail. So these proven ways to reduce crime and putting people in jail can't be in any sense proven or correct if those facts that I just told you are true. But anyway, I digress. He goes on, and this is my favorite thing here. This line of argument that increasing the money that they spend on defense, increasing the military budget, throwing all this money at the Pentagon, it's all to keep America safe. Don't you get it, guys? It's to keep me and you and your grandma and your grandmother and your cat. It's to keep all of us safe, keep us secure. Wow. That should make us feel better about the current inflation. You know, the food shortage. We can't afford groceries. That should make us feel much better about getting raped at the gas pump when we put gas in our car because it's so high these days. That should make us feel so much better about not having health care. That should make us feel so much better since we're secure and we're protected from the terrorists and the Russian hordes and the Chinese. That should make us feel so much better. Even though we're saddled with debt, even though the federal minimum wage isn't a living wage, even though unions are constantly under attack in this country, even though there's so many even though, but with all that, they want us to be content with the fact that they're throwing all this money at the military and you're safe. I mean, it makes no sense. In fact, I would argue that you're less safe. Because as I said in the beginning, how is this considered defense spending? They call it defense. In no way is this, it's offensive. Imagine how other countries look at America and this bloated military budget. They're the ones that should feel unsafe. Whoa, these guys are spending all this much money on military. What are they doing? What are they preparing for? I mean, it's insane. You got to look at it from the perspective of people that are on the outside, you know? And also, when it comes to this rabid defense spending, you know, the soldiers don't get paid. It's not like when they do this, the people that we're actually sending to war are getting paid more. No, that's not the case. They're not the ones that are getting the really big checks. No, not at all. In fact, a lot of those kids, men and women, and in some cases kids, that we send, or just young people that we send off to fight and die in these meaningless wars, the vast majority of them are from working class families. And it's working class families that have to feel the blow of having, to know that they've lost a child or a loved one to the heat of war. But anyway, man, I just wanted to discuss this because, I mean, this is outstanding. And just a final remark, think about what this does to the general populace. I just named out all these different ailments. I mean, the student loan forbearance ends on, I believe, May the 1st. The eviction moratorium ends on, I believe, June the 1st. I mean, so many issues right now. Americans are struggling. What is it? 42% of people are on the SNAP program. You may also know that is, I believe, food stamps. I mean, what, 39 or 32%, I believe it's 39% of Americans can't uh, bear a random $1,000 expense because it'll just rock their world and do very bad things to them. They can't handle it. They can't. $1,000 can't handle it. I mean, these are the things that we are all going through, and yet they want us to believe that, oh, because they're giving more money to the military, everything's all right. When you spend so much on things like militarism and war and giving aid to foreign countries that most Americans can't even point out on a map, like Ukraine, and you neglect the problems that you have domestically, the very real pain and neglect that your populace is feeling, it creates a sentiment of disdain. And I mean, I still can't understand how there hasn't been a revolution in this country. I mean, there's very real answers to that question. I say that, but I kind of do. I mean, there's many distractions, among other things. But anyway, it does create the environment for such a thing to occur. And, you know, you wonder why events like January the 6th took place. And of course, there were motivations behind that. I'm not saying it was all because people were struggling economically. But the fact of the matter is, if we resided within a place where people's basic needs were met and they actually had a shot, then things like that, as well as many other things that we see with people lashing out and acting out because they simply don't have enough, we wouldn't see in a society that actually provided to them the things that they needed to survive. I mean, we have the President of the United States touting food shortages, saying that these things are going to come. And by the way, a food shortage, it's just another way of saying hunger. There's no such thing as a food shortage. The only way food shortage happens is if we disproportionately ration the food ourselves. There's more than enough food to go around. But with that being said, this is a terrible look, but I doubt they will ever realize that.